What was supposed to be a night of celebration turned into disaster after 4 friends who were all drunk left the bar in the city without a designated driver. Designate a driver. Don't drink and drive.
This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Wednesday, October 9th, 2024. I am Alana Bose with the latest tonight. President of Exxon Mobil Guyana, Alistair Rutledge, has announced that his company has successfully completed the $1 billion pipeline for the gas-to-energy project. At a press conference today, the Exxon Mobil Guyana president said the company is now waiting on the other components of the project to be completed to facilitate the process of safely transporting natural gas to Wales.
We had to shut down both of the 2 FPSOs in order to tie in the risers, these gas risers, to enable the gas export to take place into the gas-to-energy pipeline. So we completed the 2 shutdowns very successfully, on schedule, safely. The 2 pipelines have been tied, or the risers tied in and connected to the pipeline.
The pipeline is designed to transport gas from Exxon's offshore operations to a $759 million power plant and natural gas liquids plant at Wales. The plants are being financed by the government and are expected to be completed by the end of 2025. Rutledge said in order to safely complete the pipeline, the Liza Destiny and the Liza Unity floating production, storage and offloading vessels were taken offline in July and August for a period of 12 days each in order to connect the FPSOs to the risers on the pipeline.
Pipeline is now essentially mechanically complete, has been hydro-tested, that's a pressure test, and we've been going through the dewatering exercise and then introducing nitrogen, so we have a pipeline that is ready to introduce natural gas.
Questioned whether the company experienced a drop in oil production in July and August due to the shutting down of the FPSOs, Rutledge said while the vessels were taken offline, production was not lost, but rather deferred.
Really what happens in those sorts of instances is the production is deferred. It's not that we lose the oil, it's just it will be produced later in the life of the asset. So given that we're in plateau just now, the way you would calculate that is as we come off the plateau, then you'd expect the plateau runs a little later, we produce it as you go down the decline.
It was explained that the move to take the FPSOs offline was critical to ensure that the risers were safely connected to the FPSOs. The risers carry the hydrocarbons from the subsea wellhead on the seabed to the FPSO unit on the surface. The government has been touting the gas-to-energy project as one of its hallmark projects, although it has faced some financing issues as it awaits approval for a loan from the U.S. Exxon Bank. More news coming up in a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. It can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just 4 walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
The oil and gas industry is helping to transform safety standards across all sectors of Guyana. The government and industry leaders are pioneering safer offshore oil production with new legislation, updated policies, and state-of-the-art floating production, storage, and offloading vessels.
Are you ready to elevate your career with a world-class education from the comfort of your home? The University of Excellence Management and Business, UEMB, Guyana's premier accredited and recognized tertiary institution, invites you to join one or more of our comprehensive 145-degree programs. Registration is now open for our next intake on September 9 and every 2 months thereafter. Enroll now and secure a 50% scholarship. Choose from an ABA, BBA, MBA, MPM, EMBA, EMPM, and LLM degrees, available in 14 specializations. Whether you hold an undergraduate degree, a diploma, or relevant professional qualifications, apply. We are an accredited degree-granting tertiary institution in Guyana. Our programs are also equivalent to a USA Regional Accredited degree. Submit your completed application form, proof of entrance qualification, and any form of ID. For more details, visit our administrative office in the Critchlow Labour College, front building, Wolford Avenue, or call 225-1395, 225-1397-9, 618-3434, and 681-3434. Progressing to a degree is as easy as ABC with UEMB. Deal with the best and forget the rest.
I can't wait until tomorrow.
Yes.
Start packing this, yeah?
I ain't start packing yet. Usually I pack a couple hours before and I go. Drive. I got my phone, I got my keys, my charger, my
Procrastinating planning for the future? Well, that's never a good idea. Let Demerara Mutual and Demerara Fire and General help you get started with planning for your future today. I'm with Dem.
A midday fire at Puruni Landing in the Puruni River Region 7 completely destroyed 15 buildings and claimed 2 lives. An alarm was raised in the gold mining community just after 11 o'clock this morning as one of the buildings was seen engulfed in flames. There is no fire service in the area, so the fire quickly spread to the other nearby buildings and gutted a number of vehicles also, according to reports. 9 of the buildings that were destroyed were owned by businesswoman Yvette MacDonald, 4 other buildings were owned by businessman Floyd Elcock, and one of the buildings that was destroyed in the blaze was owned by boat captain William Cozier. The destroyed buildings housed a number of businesses, including a restaurant, a grocery store, and 4 hotels. A police report of the incident said that it is suspected that 2 persons lost their lives in the blaze after being trapped in one of the buildings. Their identities are unknown. It is suspected that the fire started in the fuel barn that was located in one of the buildings. According to reports, while fuel was being sold in bulk, there was a spill that was ignited, leading to the inferno. Persons in the area were left confused and helpless as the fire quickly spread to a second fuel barn and got out of control. Some residents eventually started to use a dredge that was in the Puruni River to douse the blaze. The fire was eventually put out by the residents of the area, but by that time, the 15 buildings and a number of vehicles were already destroyed. A report on the incident stated that none of the buildings were insured and losses are likely to be in the millions. Police investigators have since traveled into the area to probe the incident. With more than 600 known Venezuelan migrants settling in different communities across Linden, officials of the mining town are sounding the alarm over the strain that the migrants are placing on the community, and they are demanding government's intervention. Following the public appeals by the mayor of Linden, Sharma Solomon, and other officials, Minister of Foreign Affairs Hugh Todd traveled to the community and met directly with Venezuelan migrants while ignoring regional and municipal leaders. In a statement this morning, the mayor of Linden said it is disappointing that during Minister's visit to Linden, he chose to meet only with members of his party and the Venezuelan migrants and did not bother to engage with the local elected officials and community leaders who have been raising the issue as an urgent one.
Our town has been in the forefront and the front line of addressing the concerns surrounding the migrant situation, and our voices and the voices of residents who have legitimate questions and concerns have been overlooked for far too long by the ministry.
The mayor recalled that since last year, the people of Linden have warned the government of the issue with the migrants, and there has been no system put in place to address the matter. Solomon said while the leadership of the town welcomes any effort to support and assist those in need, it is crucial that all parties, including the ministry, take into account the local context and the challenges facing the town with the migrants. He said the lack of engagement with local officials and residents further alienates the very people whose lives are being directly impacted by these decisions.
We hope that the ministry's response, by having the minister come himself, is not just a show to appease the international community, while reducing the legitimate concerns of Guyanese. The way the ministry chooses to handle this matter will say much of our confidence as a community in any information being released by the ministry.
The mayor called on the foreign ministry and his government to take immediate steps to open dialogue with the leaders of Linden and Region 10 to ensure that all perspectives are heard and not just those that align with a political agenda. He said the town's priority remains the safety, well-being, and cohesion of the community. There are reports that many of the migrants have been observed building concrete structures in areas that the government had removed Linden squatters from to make way for development initiatives. Opposition Member of Parliament for Region 10, Jermaine Figuera, in a statement today also lashed out at the foreign minister for visiting the town and meeting only with the migrants while ignoring local leaders. MP Figuera said the minister's visit failed to involve local leadership for a comprehensive and bipartisan approach that is an imperative when addressing such sensitive matters as the migrant situation. He said the lack of engagement is not only disrespectful, but raises doubts about the seriousness the minister has attached to the issue. The government remains very tight-lipped on the issue.
The Guyana Elections Commission GCOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by December 31st, 2024 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. Types of transactions. Anyone eligible for registration is required to visit the registration office responsible for his or her area of residence to apply for registration. Persons who are already registered could apply for a name change if they have changed their names since they were last registered. Apply for corrections if there is incorrect information on their national ID cards. Persons who are desirous of conducting any of the above transactions must provide the relevant supporting documents. Persons who are already registered could request that their photographs be retaken if the quality of the photographs on their ID cards is unacceptable. Collect their new ID cards if they have not done so as yet. This registration exercise will end on November 29, 2024. For further information, please contact GCOM on the following hotline numbers: 225-027729, 226-6557, 223-9650, or visit the GCOM website at www.gcom.org.gy.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors that me crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. I can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life. Just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
A total of 389 small contractors in Berbice were awarded almost $7 billion in government contracts on Tuesday to undertake various projects in the East Berbice quarantine region. The contracts were awarded outside of the tender process. Vice President Barrett Jagdeo, who was in Berbice to oversee the exercise, said the government devised the new system so that more contractors could benefit. According to the Vice President, the government has been faced with complaints from contractors who have been bidding for projects but have not been receiving awards. He said the move to bypass the tendering process is also to address an unconscionable situation where a number of persons within a single family are awarded multiple contracts at the same time.
If we go that route, we're not going to be able to broaden the contractor core. And secondly, when people find this out, because ultimately they will find it out in the villages where you work or in the wards in the towns where you live, they will find out. You don't get the blame, we do. It's the first thing they say, the People's Progressive Party is tolerating this. And it's something that we're very intolerant of.
Mr. Jagdeo said there are about 2,000 new contractors in the system. He admitted there are difficulties that are being addressed.
For who come and tell you they help you get this work. Nobody helped you get this work. You got the work, right, because of your own effort. The government wants this to happen. So no, don't let that happen. Secondly, if anyone solicits a bribe from you for doing shoddy work or something, any engineer or anyone, you let us know.
Further, the Vice President urged the new contractors to ensure that their works are completed up to standard and within stipulated time. He said the awarding of a contract should not mean wastage of taxpayers' money and said strict measures will be in place to ensure that contract guidelines are followed.
But we also have to leave room for the big contractors to grow. Those who are there and who bought a lot of equipment, etc. So another $7 billion of work will be tendered shortly. And these are for people who have greater capacity, but that's where you will be judged on the basis of your bid, not.
The government continues to face criticism about the way it has been handing out government contracts. The opposition has accused the government of mostly catering for its friends and families. Attorney General Anil Nandlal has advised that President Irfan Ali can go ahead and appoint Mr. Clifton Hicken as the substantive Commissioner of Police without the opposition leader's agreement. The Attorney General said the Constitution does not state that the opposition leader's agreement is needed for the appointment. Mr. Hicken, who reached the age of retirement over a year ago, is currently the acting police commissioner. His acting appointment was extended by the president when he reached the retirement age last year. The Constitution caters for meaningful consultation to take place on the appointment of the Commissioner of Police. The opposition leader has already made known his non-support of Hicken being appointed to the post. On his Issues in the News television program on Tuesday, Attorney General Nandlal explained that Guyana's constitution states that the president can appoint a commissioner of police and deputy commissioners of police after consulting with the opposition leader and chairperson of the Police Service Commission after the chairperson has consulted with the other members of the commission. He said that process has already been followed and the way has been cleared for the president to make the appointment.
If Mr. Norton believes that constant consultation or meaningful consultation requires a face-to-face meeting, well then he's hopelessly wrong. because the Constitution does not expressly or impliedly requires such an engagement. So any actions or any action filed by Mr. Norton in this regard will be strenuously defended and will be dismissed by any impartial, competent court.
According to the Attorney General, there are some appointments, such as the Chancellor and Chief Justice, which require the agreement of the opposition. But in this case, the President's letter to Mr. Norton and Mr. Norton's response is enough. Nandlal says the Constitution does not state anything about agreement. According to the Attorney General, the only person who can appoint the police commissioner is the President, and such powers are vested in the Constitution.
The President wrote to the leader of the opposition and the chairman of the Police Service Commission since September the 4th, 2024. Wrote to Mr. Norton, he informed Mr. Norton that he proposes to appoint Clifton Hickin, Acting Commissioner of Police, as Commissioner of Police. So he identified the persons who is to be consulted as Norton and the chairman of the Police Service Commission. He specified to them why he writing them, what is the subject. The subject is the appointment of Hickin from acting to substantive. In the letter, he attached the CV of Mr. Hickin.
In a letter to the opposition leader last week, Governance Minister Gail Teixeira hinted that the appointment of Mr. Hickin is imminent. She had outlined a number of reasons on behalf of the President. Mr. Norton told News Source last week that he will not support the appointment of Mr. Hickin and will go to the courts should the President go ahead with the appointment.
GCOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by December 31, 2024 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. Where to apply for registration? You are required to visit the registration office that is responsible for the registration of persons in your area of residence to apply for registration. Office hours, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 12 hours, 13 hours to 16 hours 30, and Friday from 8 to 12 hours and 13 to 15 hours 30. The offices will be closed on weekends and holidays. This registration exercise will end on November 29, 2024. For further information, contact the GCOM on 225-027729 or visit the website www.gcom.org.gy.
What was supposed to be a night of celebration turned into disaster after 4 friends who were all drunk left the bar in the city without a designated driver. Designate a driver. Don't drink and drive.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look. You know the one. Or one touch. Even one word. I can start with one step. Or one promise. One thrill. One first time. One deep breath. One leap of faith. One day to remember. Or one night to forget. One moment. So many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life. Just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
Across the region tonight, Brazil's Supreme Court said it is lifting a ban on the social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter. In his decision, Justice Alexandre de Moraes said he authorized the immediate return of X's activities in the country after it paid hefty fines and blocked accounts accused of spreading misinformation. According to a statement, the site has paid fines totaling $5.1 million and agreed to appoint a local representative as required by Brazilian law. Moraes had blocked access to the platform owned by Elon Musk after it had refused to ban several profiles deemed by the government to be spreading misinformation about the 2022 Brazilian presidential election. Anatel, Brazil's telecoms watchdog, has been instructed to ensure service has resumed for more than 20 million users in the country within 24 hours. After months of defying the court's orders, Musk fired the company's Brazilian staff in late August and closed X's office in Brazil. Colombia's National Electoral Council has requested an investigation into the 2022 election campaign of President Gustavo Petro after alleged violations of financing limits, it said in a statement. The majority of the 9 magistrates voted to approve an investigation into Petro and his campaign manager, Ricardo Roa, who is currently the chief executive of Colombia's majority state-owned energy company, Ecopetrol. The decision to investigate comes weeks after Petro, Colombia's first leftist president, warned of an alleged plot to assassinate him or remove him from power through the courts. If the investigation goes ahead, Petro's case would be heard by the Accusation Committee of the lower house of Congress, where presidents must be tried according to the Constitution. And finally tonight, international news. A Turkish Airlines pilot has died after becoming ill on his own flight from Seattle on the northwest coast of the United States to Istanbul in Turkey. The 59-year-old pilot collapsed mid-air and a second pilot and co-pilot took over the controls, an airline spokesman said. The Airbus A350 plane landed in New York and plans were then made to fly the passengers on to Turkey from there. The pilot had flown with Turkish Airlines since 2007 and had been given a regular health check in early March, which found no health problem that might affect his job, the airline said. Turkey's Air Traffic Controllers Association, TATCA, said he had served the aviation community for many years and offers condolences to his family, friends, and colleagues. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Alana Bose reporting and encouraging you to have a safe night.